Hi everybody. Today I want to talk about my new baritone saxophone mouthpiece, which happens to be the brand new Theo Wanne BRAHMA. Now, I just happened to be in Bellingham, Washington, and I just so happened to walk up to a sax player at a gig who mentioned, hey, I work for Theo Wanne, and just that day they released this new mouthpiece, again, the BRAHMA. Now, the BRAHMA had been available, I think, for tenor for quite a while, but it's now available for alto and baritone as well. And I really wanted to try it out, and fortunately enough, they invited me out to the factory so I could try out some different mouthpieces, and really was super impressed with this mouthpiece. I've been playing on a Van Doren V16 for a number of years now. I've done several recordings and albums with it, and it's really worked great, but I really was kind of looking for something a little darker with a little more meat. I've always liked the sound of classic Berg Larsens and things like that, but I've just never found one that really played for me. And I feel like this mouthpiece might just do the trick for me. So let's take a look at it. Inside the box, which is a very sturdy cardboard, you have the mouthpiece and quite a lovely mouthpiece bag that it comes in. Zipper pouch that'll keep your mouthpiece really safe, because at a street price of $795, you definitely are not interested in breaking this mouthpiece. There's also a small pamphlet here that gives you a little bit of information about the mouthpiece and about Theo Wanne, and there's a little card in there that talks about the ligature holder, because this mouthpiece, unlike some Theo Wannes, actually comes with the Theo Wanne ligature. And so it's great to have that little ligature protector and beak cap for your mouthpiece. So again, when it's rattling around in your case, it's not going to get damaged. So when you pop open the zipper bag, you have the mouthpiece itself. And there's that little ligature cap and the Theo Wanne ligature. Now, the ligature is a bit obtrusive, and the one accessory they don't come with, which is kind of a drag, is an actual reed cap, so that when you're playing, you can put a cap on your mouthpiece. You can now purchase those from Theo Wanne, but it's kind of a drag that you got to pay an extra $10 to just get the cap. But the ligature itself works pretty darn well, and it's a pretty decent design. It takes a third hand to really align it properly, but once you get it on there, it holds the reed really firmly and works really great at making the reed vibrate in a way you'd want, and it really fits the mouthpiece well, because for a baritone mouthpiece, you can see this one is relatively skinny, so it's going to be hard to find a ligature that fits it perfectly. So it's kind of a boon that it comes with this great ligature. When we take the ligature off, you can see it has a little pressure plate there. It's very reminiscent of the vintage Auto-Link ligatures from their metal mouthpieces. And we take off the little cap, and there we have the mouthpiece itself. Now, I chose the hard rubber because I typically like hard rubber a little bit better than the metal, but the metal and the hard rubber are essentially the same mouthpiece. It's just a material choice. You can see it's got a round chamber in there. It's a little hard to see. And it's got a fairly decent sized chamber in there. So if you're looking for kind of a medium chamber mouthpiece, this is probably going to work for you. Again, it's hard to see, but inside on the baffle, you'll see there's some little markings, some little lines in there, and that's part of the Theo Wanne design that helps with the airflow that makes the mouthpiece really pop. Now, these things are incredibly well crafted, and they're hand finished, and they're all built in the same factory, so it goes straight from production to finishing to the box to you. So they're really pretty darn high quality, and I was really impressed with the operation when I was in there. And in terms of playing, as you'll hear in the examples, I think this mouthpiece plays really great. It has a dark, warm sound, but it's not too bright, nor is it too loud. I really think it's just kind of a very similar profile to my V16, yet it gives me a little more husk and a little bit more heft to the sound, which I was really looking for. It's relatively dark, but with plenty of projection. So playing in a funk band or something, you're not going to have a problem being heard, or a big band, but you can also play gentle enough so you can be heard in, for example, a setting like a jazz combo, which is typically what I play a lot of my music in. So here we go with the Theo Wanne BRAHMA. So the Theo Wanne BRAHMA I chose was a 7-star facing, which is about a 105 tip opening. And that's typically what I play on baritone and on tenor, is that 7-star range. So this one felt really comfortable to me. The Theo Wanne ligature works really great in terms of sonically. It takes a little bit of getting used to install it. on the top of the mouthpiece, there's a small kind of W marking there and a little bit of a point, and that goes toward the tip of the mouthpiece. So it would go on with that point facing toward your face when the mouthpiece is in your mouth. And what I find that I need to do is I need to flip the mouthpiece over, and I need to actually put my fingers right up next to the plate to keep it from shifting as I tighten it down. I also like to put a little bit of pressure on the reed, again, so that it doesn't move, because sometimes when you're twisting the screw, what can happen is the reed can shift a little bit here on the back. I also prefer the ligature to be a little farther forward with this particular setup, because I find that if I have it too far back, what's going to happen is the mouthpiece is going to be a little too free, and you might get some squeaking and stuff like that. So I like to push it a little farther forward than I might with other ligatures. But again, once you got it lined up well, and you kind of put your fingers there, you can tighten it down. And once it has grabs on, it typically is going to be good. The nice thing is it really allows you to get the reed on there tight. And unlike some of the other ligatures that are similar to this, like the Ultimate, I really think that this one actually holds much stronger. You know, you'd have a hard time moving the reed if you were tweaking on the mouthpiece, say, to change your intonation. So again, the ligature works pretty darn well, both sonically and mechanically. And frankly speaking, 90% of the time my complaint on ligatures is the mechanical part. So again, I have a 7-star tip opening on this one, and so here we go with a little bit of playtesting. So I hope you enjoyed the audio examples, and let me know in the comments if you have any questions. I've been a really big fan of this mouthpiece. I've only had it for about a week now, and obviously it just came out at the time I recorded this video, so hopefully you'll try one out and let me know what you think of it too. Like I said, they're really high quality, well built, and great equipment. So there you go, the Theo Wanne BRAHMA.